Welcome back to Rap and Wrestling, ladies and gentlemen. It's your boy T the Monster, live and direct per usual. And as promised this week, I'm going to break down to you what I believe is going to happen at Backlash, ladies and gentlemen. So that is right, this is Fantasy Booking Friday. So, welcome to Fantasy Booking Friday. We're going to go ahead and get right into it. And of course, if you haven't, please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. We're trying to get to 10,000 subscribers by the end of the year. And we're trying to get WrestleMania to Detroit by 2030. Okay? Alright, so first match of the night, of course, I don't know if this is going to be the exact order of the match card of the night, but the first match that I have here on my list is going to be Gunther versus Pat McAfee. So this past Monday night on Monday Night Raw, of course, we saw Gunther and Pat McAfee speak to each other in the ring. They're cutting promos, and basically, as I mentioned before in my recap, Gunther's basically ready to whoop some ass, and Pat McAfee is like, don't underestimate me, I'm ready to go. And what I think is going to happen in this match is, I do think it's actually going to be a pretty good match. It low-key might be the sleeper match of the card because Pat McAfee can actually wrestle. And of course, Gunther being the former champion that he was and being the wrestler that he is, he can put on a legit match. So I think that Gunther's gonna chop the shit out of Pat Mac, probably rip his shirt off and chop the shit out of him. And I think Pat's gonna still put up a fight, but of course I believe Gunther's going to go over. But it'll be interesting to see how he goes over and what happens like post-match or in the match, or who comes out to help Pat McAfee if that's the case, so on and so forth. I do believe that this will tie into like another storyline for Gunther going down the line. Pat McAfee, of course, like I said, he can wrestle. He's been spending time at NXT. If you've been watching his show, he put a ring up over on his show, over in his compound, and he's been practicing and getting some reps in too. But yeah, don't sleep on Pat. He's no slouch in the ring. He can actually wrestle. He knows what he's doing. He's not just a former NFL punter. He knows what the fuck he's doing, and he's multi-talented and multifaceted. Like I said, I do believe that Gunther's going to go over, but I think there's going to be some theatrics behind this to tie into Gunther going into the next storyline. The next match that I have on this card, like I said, I don't know if this is in the exact order, but the next match that I have is Dominic Mysterio versus Penta. Now, of course, this has been kind of building up since WrestleMania when Dom kind of won the title in that Fatal 4-Way, and it's going to be interesting to see these two finally get a legit one-on-one match on a major card, or no, a major card, I'm sorry, on a PLE, just to kind of see what they can do. Now, these two have been in the ring before on a singles match on Monday Night Raw, and this time it's going to be for higher stakes with the Intercontinental Championship on the line. And this is one of 4 titles that'll be on the line during this PLE. But with the Intercontinental Championship on the line, I do think that this match is more so to set up the breakup of the Judgment Day. There was a little bit of an Easter egg when we saw Jey Uso walk into the ring on Monday Night Raw. We saw Finn talking to, I think it was Roxanne Perez in the background. I do think that Finn is going to get involved in this match, and he's going to try to cost Dom the match, but it ends up helping Dom win. And I think Dom, like, he addresses Finn. He confronts Finn like, yo, what were you doing? Da da da. He's like, I was trying to help you win. And like, this is more so like leading toward, I think it'll be a match at SummerSlam between these two. So we'll see what happens with that. I do think that the match overall, the quality of the match, they're gonna have a great match. Like, they've been in the ring with each other before. 2 great luchadors going at it. Of course, Penta, like I said on Monday Night Raw, so a recap, he's a utility player. You could put him in the ring with anyone and he could pretty much have a great match. And Dom Mysterio, of course, he's gained years and he's gained veteran status there in WWE, and he knows what he's doing in the ring as well. So I do think Dom goes over, but I think he goes over due to the interference from Finn Balor and trying to help him win. So the match after that, of course, we have a Fatal 4-Way for the United States Championship, of course, with the champion Jacob Fatu versus Damian Priest versus LA Knight versus Drew McIntyre. Now, with this match, I think this may also possibly be a sleeper of the match. I'm sorry, sleeper of the night for this match. You have all 4 of these men who, honestly speaking, they're all championship, like world heavyweight / WWE championship material. I think this is a good look for Fatu, him being the U.S. championship or U.S. champion, because now he's in the ring with some of these more tenured guys in WWE who's been at the top of the card and who's at the top of the card to where he kind of fits in. And so him coming in as champion, of course, he can get pinned, or he doesn't have to get pinned to lose the belt. So I think what happens is I think all hell's gonna break loose in this match. I think Damian and Drew are gonna go at it. LA is and Jacob are gonna go at it. But I do think that in the end we're gonna see Fatu still walk out with this championship around his waist, and that's because number one, he has big plans behind him. But how it happens, I honestly don't completely know on this one. This is one of the ones where I'm not completely sure, because honestly speaking, with those involved, this can go either way. I can see Jacob still winning the championship. I can see LA Knight winning back the championship. I can see Damian Priest winning the championship. I just can't see Drew McIntyre winning because he's already up in the upper card. Now, I do, like I said, that leads me to think that Jacob will probably still walk out as champion. I just don't know how it'll happen. Ultimately, I just don't know the finish. The match after that, of course, we have another championship match, the third of the night, of course, for the Women's Intercontinental Championship. We're going to have Lyra Valkyria walking in as champion versus, of course, Becky Lynch. Now, Becky Lynch returned at Mania, and if you've been watching them with WWE, she's turned heel, she's attacked Bayley, and she has her eyes set on Lyra Valkyria and her Intercontinental Championship. Now, this is also going to be a great match, and I think that with these two women having the history they have between each other, the ring chemistry they have with each other, the ability to put on a great match, the charisma, the championship pedigree behind Becky Lynch, and the veteran status of Becky Lynch to a younger and more upcoming Lyra Valkyria, this would be a good match for Lyra to get that. Of course, she's in the ring with one of her heroes, but like to get that rub, and then also to get that experience in a high-level match on a card like Backlash, where you're on a PLE, you're defending the championship, and now you have the experience of like putting on a barn-burning match or putting on a solid match with someone with the level of Becky Lynch, and literally solidifying yourself as someone as well to become one of those top women in the division as well. So I do see Lyra Valkyria going over, possibly maybe interference from Bayley, in which will lead to Lyra getting the win. Of course, you gotta keep that in mind. Bayley has been off TV, or maybe some of the NXT women get involved in this too, and they've been kind of running rumshot on everything, so maybe they get involved as well and cause Lyra to win. Like I said, I'm not really sure on the finish on this one, but I do believe that Lyra's going to win. At least that's what I believe is the right decision to make in this situation. But we still got to make Becky look strong because she's returning, so something to think about. And lastly, of course, seeing that this is in the city that it is in, and the way that they're booking it also, we're going to get the champion, the last real champion, John Cena, versus the hometown hero, Randy Orton. Now, this feud's been 20 plus years, 25 years I believe now at this point, or close to 25 years in the making for the most part. Sucks that the fact that this didn't get too much of a build up, which leads to why I believe that they're going to get another match together further down the line. Is not being billed as being billed as the last match between these two. I heard Michael Cole like legitimately say this could be the last match between the two, which leads me to think that further down the line that they might get another match, which I think they should, because like this match didn't really get much of a build. Cena wasn't there every week to talk to Randy or to keep up his end of the promos and stuff on the mic, and I think that they need more time to build toward a legitimate match between these two with all the history that they have between each other and everything else in between too. But ultimately, this being in St. Louis, I want to say Randy's going to win, but I think Cena wins with interference. Maybe Cody comes back and distracts John and just kind of sets up that going forward, because we haven't seen Cody since Mania. We haven't seen him since Mania. So maybe he returns and he gives that nod to Randy and just to kind of help him. But maybe in that, Cena still doesn't get distracted, and and John still goes over, or maybe he attacks John Cena and which causes Randy to win technically, but Cena still walks out as champ. Not really too sure how they're going to finish it. I just know that John Cena's still walking out with the belt in that motherfucker. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens on Saturday at Backlash. So of course, if you haven't, like I said, that's all I have for us for today on my Fantasy Booking Friday here for Backlash. If you haven't, of course, please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, of course, and make sure you hit that notification bell at the bottom, of course, so we can go ahead and let you know when we drop a new videos. Until then, I will see you soon. Peace.